Gulls fans, welcome back to another episode of the 25 for 25 podcast here. Super pumped to be back on another episode. Going to be taking a little bit of a step back in terms of some 25th anniversary stuff and kind of take gear more towards some 2026 upcoming summer excitement with our guest Mr. Ryan Novak here today. Ryan, how's everything going?
It's going well, Eric. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, dude. Absolutely. Super pumped to have you back here. Ryan obviously was is a returner for 2026, coming back from our 2025 season. Ryan, obviously the Gulls and I, right, we're very acclimated with who you are, your level of play in college ball, Ryan. But if you could give our viewers and our listeners just a little bit of background, quick summary about yourself, your journey as a collegiate athlete and just baseball in general, up to this point in your life, to just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh yeah, junior at Miami of Ohio. I'm from Canton, Georgia, and this is my third season at Miami of Ohio, and I've enjoyed every bit of it. It's been really fun, and just enjoyed the process of college baseball. It's been really fun.
Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. So has the 2026 season and spring been for you guys so far?
It's been good. I mean, looking back, it's crazy. Like from where we start, and our coach talks about from where we started my freshman year to where we are now is like leaps and bounds. Like what the strides we've made has been really good. And again, we're still trying to get better every single day. And what I really like about this team we have this year is like we're really talented, and I don't think we haven't hit our peak yet, just
Yeah.
because we're a little younger. We got just go through some growing pains.
Mhm.
Last year we were senior heavy, like a lot more like experienced guys and guys that have been there. So it's like we were more, I guess, say even keel, but it's like you go through the bumps and you know how to deal with it. Whereas I love like this group, it's very like we're very passionate. It's not saying we weren't last year, but it's like
Right.
just learning how to deal with like when we hit like those bumps, like how we respond, and it's been fun. I'm really excited to keep going, and when we get into like May and June, I'm really going to be excited to see what we're doing then. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, you get Miami, Ohio there. I mean, you guys are gonna be fighting for a regional spot, right?
Yeah. Win the conference again, win the tournament, and yeah, I mean, our goal is last year we made it. This year it's win a regional and then go to a super, and then
Right.
who knows, 3 game series, take 2 out of 3 and go to Omaha. So
Yeah.
yeah, to go like anybody else, get to Omaha.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, I mean, when you look back at 2026 so far here, Ryan, and right, without giving too much away from like a full scouting report on yourself,
Hmm.
but have you seen yourself, compared to this point last year, how does your game plan in terms of your development and what you're working on so far this spring, how has that kind of evolved from this point last spring?
Um, I guess just trying to be more consistent. I mean, last year I felt like again I was like I had my stretches where like I was like really good, and then I hit a low, and then it's just kind of like trying to just be more consistent, man. This year, I guess I haven't done as well as I'd like to do, but I feel like I've done again, just like trying to just put good at bats together, and whatever happens goes from there. But I think just trying to be like more well rounded and not just be like all or not like I'm either really good or really bad. Just being like just consistent, I would say is the biggest thing.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's awesome. And I think, we'll get into this when we go into, specific, goals and any CBL stuff that we ran into last year. But I think there's a really, key, kind of tie-in we can work in a little bit later here. So before we go into that stuff, Ryan, just want to take us through, your first summer in Newport, right? Because was that your first year of summer ball overall as a collegiate baseball player?
Oh no, that was my second year. My first year, I was in Hamilton, Ohio, playing in the Great Lakes League. So, but
Gotcha.
yeah, I
Awesome.
enjoyed Newport. That was a lot of fun.
Absolutely, yeah. Can you take us through a little bit about what that experience was like coming in for the first time? Because you said your first year was in Ohio in a Ohio summer league,
Yes.
right? So could be a little bit of comfort there playing at Miami, Ohio, right? So how was and again take us through a little bit of the first thoughts of playing in Newport, your experience overall, but how is that kind of a big leap going into the Northeast for an entire summer of baseball?
Oh yeah, I mean it was a little different. I mean, being from the South, I mean, I think the last time I was really up in the Northeast is probably Cooperstown, but
Yeah.
yeah, it was interesting to go up there and it's like, man, all I see is big houses and boats and just like a nice tourist town. Like, man, all right, I see why a lot of people are here. And then it's just like you go some of these places and it's just crazy. But no, it was awesome just like seeing sites and places like I would have never seen if I didn't play summer ball like in Newport. And I enjoyed like just not only the places I got to go, the people I met, and just the competition. I enjoyed all of it.
Yeah. So, diving into a little bit about the people you met, right? Because before we hopped on the podcast here, right, we were talking a little bit about, how great it is to meet such a diverse group of guys, for the scope of what summer baseball is, how is the experience of, interacting with players all over the country, including yourself. These are high
Mhm.
level guys competing for a national championship pretty much everywhere in the country, right? So, how is that, relationship building with the players, and how did you guys build off each other to push yourself throughout the summer?
Um, I guess it's like, the first couple like weeks, trying to get acclimated and, know each other just because, it's all thrown together. But no, I think it's really cool once you get to like you hang out with them and it's like you start talking about what they do at school, how life is there. And it's just like you start comparing, you're like dropping like, all right, I like that. That's really interesting. I've never thought about it like that. And you just start taking bits and pieces and like
Mhm.
it's able, I mean, you're all playing baseball, so it's easy to relate because you all understand like, what you're trying, the goal you're trying to achieve. And then it's interesting like hearing it from different people around the world or the country. It's everybody's still got the same goal. It's just how they go about achieving it might be a little different, but yeah, no, it's really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. And how does that trickle over to the coaching staff? Because I know, especially in Newport, we kind of have what I like to call, probably unique coaches with guys like Teddy Regan and Mike Coombs. So how is the process of kind of learning and, taking everything in that guys like Coach Coombs and Coach Teddy were telling you guys and communicating with you guys, throughout the summer, because it is a little weird, right? These guys are, coaches you've never met before in your life, and you guys are used to a certain way of going about things at school and with your college coaches. But, how was that relationship with the coaches? And then, did it make, kind of the laid backness of how Coach Coombs and Coach Teddy can be at times? How did that make the comfort level, a little bit easier or a little bit harder throughout the summer?
Oh yeah, I think it made it easy. I mean, it was fun talking to Coach Shea about anything. Like he's always wanted to do early work or whatever it may be, and just have a good time, bust your balls. And yeah, Coach Coombs, it's funny. Yeah, he's cracking jokes, and then
Yeah.
the moment the umpire makes a guy call, he's no sooner to jump on him. So I mean, I think it's just like fun. Like they're easy going. You you have a good time with them. I mean, I think it was awesome. Like it's just different perspectives, and it's always interesting just to hear from them. It was really good.
Yeah, yeah, and one of the big things we talk, because we've talked to Coach Teddy again, and we will be talking to Coach Coombs at some point down the line here. But even in one of our earlier episodes with our old pitching coach from 2024 is be coming back this year. You know, it's still important for them, even though how laid back they are, right? It's still important to push you guys every day towards that development, towards where you guys are wanting to go, because it's very individual, right? It's not like your
Hmm.
college seasons where there's all focused on a team goal of getting to a regional, a super regional, and so on and so forth, right? So how from day one at that first practice, Ryan, how what was the message that the coaching staff was trying to deliver to you guys while still keeping it a focus on the individual development on a player by player basis?
Um, I guess for me, I guess it came a little bit late because like we were still playing, but I think it was just
Right.
mainly just have fun and then like obviously if you need help with anything, why not? Like I want to make you or we want you guys to be like the best version you can be, like going back into school ball because we want you to go out there and succeed again. But I think it was just like just going out there and having fun. It's like at the end of the day, you're playing baseball. It's like what else would you want to be doing during the summer? It's the best thing
Exactly.
you could probably be doing. So yeah, I
Plus,
think it
you're
was
not
just
you're
like
not
have fun and just enjoy the people you're around and enjoy the moment. Don't get like too caught up in anything. Just live in the present, I guess.
Absolutely, absolutely, and it's never hurts, like you said earlier here. It never hurts to play summer ball in Newport. There's a lot of
No,
worse places to play in
yeah.
during the summer. One of the things I think, and it's something I've noticed over my time here, Ryan, is when the guys first get here, it's very like you said, right? They have this really good relationship with each other, the great relationship with the coaching staff. Everyone, is laid back at first, but not laid back in the sense that not everyone's not trying to be competitive, right? But it's like going out here, having fun, still understanding that this is a high level of baseball that's being played throughout the summer,
Mhm.
right? Um, you know, as we got later in the summer, Ryan, and you saw, because there was stuff going around, the Gulls had won two back-to-back championships. The Gulls were eyeing a three-peat, last summer. Um, how did the perspective ever change in terms of like shit, we really got a shot at doing this, and being in that perspective every day, being part of that Gulls team, how did that kind of evolve itself over the course of the summer?
Um, I would just say it was kind of like just like seeing like what had been done there, and it's like understanding like, hey, you gotta uphold a standard, and like Coach Coombs and Teddy were more willing to like remind, hey, this is the standard here, and it's like not like it's like they'll make sure to hold you to that standard, and be like, hey, if you're not playing, like we understand, like if you just got beat that day, like tip your cap, but it's like if you're just like on underperform, they're not more willing to like say, hey, you gotta step it up, or it's like you gotta figure it out. Like this is the standard here. So, I mean, I think it kind of like sorts itself out because everybody's competitive. Like nobody wants to lose. So I think like you start like you understand what you're playing for and like just the standards. So I think it kind of just sorts itself out.
Yeah, and I think that's tied a lot to the just again, like I said, the overall competitiveness of the whole NECBL, right? I mean, obviously, a lot of summer leagues are competing with organizations and groups such as the Cape Cod League, right?
Hmm.
NECBL seems to always be a little bit number two of a shadow to the Cape Cod League, but if you could speak to just the overall competitiveness of the NECBL, was it the level of play you were expecting? Was it more? Was it less? And again, how did that push you throughout the summer? Just again, playing baseball, at the same time having fun with everything, but
Hmm.
still you're like, wow, this is a competitive level of play. What was that competition really like on a day-to-day basis?
Oh, I enjoyed it. Like I really just enjoyed it. I was like, I need to push myself and have some sorry, face some like adversity and just kind of like, maybe today is just not going to be your day. And it's like just kind of understand how to deal with that and like how to get through the lows and like just being able to like still have it come to the field like a positive attitude, which I think was good for me, just like going through some adversity because there's a handful of guys you'll see out there and it'll be 94 to 96, whether it's from the left side or the right side. And it's funny, if it's a lefty at Newport, they're throwing out a white sign, so good luck trying to see the ball. But
Yeah,
it's fun. No, I enjoyed it. It's like good to push myself and just like understand that it's not always going to be easy. You just got to find a way to push through
right. Yeah, I'll put my hand up there. Banner placement's always on me
it.
every off season, so I'll
Yeah,
do a better job of
no,
making sure those
it's
those white
funny.
banners aren't in the what's it called, the batter's eye there. So
Yeah,
we'll be
because
all
I
good
would.
moving forward there.
Yeah, because I would joke with my buddies, or yeah, the one kid I knew was playing for Martha's Vineyard. He'd be joking, or like tell their guys, and be like, "Man, see it's a lefty on the mound. See it's coming out of the white banner. You're like, uh-oh, this is gonna be brutal. It's like I better swing one of the first two or three pitches I get, or it's gonna be a rough at bat." But
Yeah,
I thought it was good, like I guess in that sense, because like it forces you to have like a different mindset. It's like, all right, I gotta be aggressive here, and it kind of forces you maybe like I told myself towards the end, I'm like, all right, I mean, I need to start swinging pitches. Like, I can hit this, but it's like it's not always something I would. So it's just like I think it was good. So
yeah.
yeah, maybe the
I'll do
opposing team doesn't like it, but
it.
it's good if you're a
Man, I
pitcher.
mean,
So
I mean, there'll be other times where I was just there over the course of the summer when we weren't even playing, and there's like sunset or like old men leagues playing there, even Patos's little Babe Ruth teams, and I'm like, man, this thing sucks out here with the white banners out in center
yeah,
fields. That'll be the first order of business for me not to put any of those out there this summer, Ryan. But
yeah.
overall. I think it's also cool because for guys like you, maybe again, not even the fact that, not in the Northeast a lot of the time, but Cardines Field itself, it's a very, very unique field, again, right in the
Hmm.
middle of, a pretty busy area of Rhode Island, right? It's in the we like to call it a little hidden gem down here. What was the experience playing at a field like Cardines? And we can take it both two ways, right? So if we want to go, part A, how is playing as an outfielder? I can imagine this might have been a little bit different for you because of how weird the dimensions are
Hmm.
over there and with, 28-foot fences. How was the experience playing the outfield there at Cardines? And then what was the experience like just at a whole, stadium? What was the vibe like outside of just, playing at Cardines every summer?
Um, I'll definitely say yeah, it's an interesting experience when you go out there and you just see, all right, there's a 28-foot fence wall or a 28-foot wall, and then there's a tree overhanging, and you look to your left, there might be a rabbit or two in the outfield with you, and you're like, all right. But no, it's definitely like interesting for sure, yeah, because you just like it's so different than like what you're normally used to, like a normal like outfield. It's kind of just round. It's said Cardines is almost like it's squared off and it's just coming around. You're like, all right.
Yeah.
But no, I think it makes it unique, and then yeah, to it like that adds to the experience. Like it's just like there's always a couple thousand people coming, and it just makes for like a great environment every time. I mean, no, I mean you don't get to see many fields like that. It's like I just think it's unique and like that. I guess it brings it back to like almost like Fenway, where like it was built to like it's kind of wedged in there to fit there around the surroundings it's built in, rather than everything being built around it. I guess, which is kind of interesting.
Right. And again, speaking from the player experience, because this is something I think resonates with a lot of baseball players, really at any level. Does that atmosphere, enhance the level of play or the level of excitement, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday over the course of a summer?
For sure. I think yeah, like the especially the first time, like it gets the sorry, it gets the
All
blood
good.
flowing. Like yeah, it's like because sometimes like it's been a minute. Like you get the adrenaline flowing, and it's just like you see that, and then you got like passionate people there, and like they're watching a game, whether it's tourists or you got the regular people that come to the games. I mean, it's just it definitely adds to it. I would say, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, we talk a lot about baseball because obviously, right, Gulls are a summer collegiate baseball team, and that's what it's all about from the player perspective, right? But what a lot of people don't realize, Ryan, is that we guys house you with host families every
Hmm.
summer, right? And and in all honesty, from my perspective, that's the biggest part, our biggest support group of the Gulls every season is our host families. Essentially, right, they're opening their houses to strangers almost for a couple months out of the summer. So, if you could, Ryan, speak about the little bit of the host family experience here. And what was, I guess what I want to say is, in terms of your expectations, were you expecting it? Did you end up being more comfortable with the host family than you were originally expecting? Was it obviously, I'm assuming it was a little bit of a different experience no matter what way you want to look at it, but overall, how was the host family experience here in Newport?
Yeah, I mean, it was the first time I done a host family. My first year, I kind of just lived on campus
Mhm.
at Miami, and then would just go there and or go to Hamilton and play. But yeah, it was the first time I was like, at first, it's a little weird because I felt like, like an outsider looking in. It's like it's just different for me. I never It's
Right.
not my thing. I'm more of like a it takes me a minute to like warm up to people or like get comfortable. But no, I enjoyed being with Mr. and Mrs. Sampson. They were great, and I really, really enjoyed. They were very, very nice and supportive, and wanted to include me in anything. I really enjoyed it. I mean, I think it was something that was good for me. I just thought they did a great job. It made me feel like at home as much as like maybe I like to keep to myself. But I thought like it was awesome. I really, really enjoyed it.
Absolutely, dude. Absolutely. Taking it back to the baseball stuff here, right? Something that Gulls did last year was incorporate, our intern team and our staff, our volunteer team. It's usually pretty big. It can range anywhere from 25 to 30 to 40 people sometimes. One of the big things we tried to do last year was incorporate, that intern aspect with what was going on with the coaching staff and the dugout. And I look at a guy specifically like Kian Hamal Keller, right? Again, obviously with the laid back culture and the, go out and have fun, but still, go out there and compete mentality you're getting from the coaches. How helpful was a guy like Kian on a day-to-day basis where he's with you guys every day? He's helping out coaching first base. He's relaying, scouting reports about pitchers, about opposing teams and their players, and where he can. How helpful was that to kind of make the summer also a little bit, more, more of a replication of what you guys are accustomed to at school a little bit.
I mean, I thought it was great. I loved Kean. I mean, it made it feel like a little bit like he's almost like just like a peer. Like he's more like he's like relatable. I mean, just because he's similar age and like he understands the modern day kind of like the pitching and the analytics. So like
Right.
he knows how to interpret it and like maybe just make it simplify and be like, all right, this is what this is gonna do and this and this. But I mean, I also thought it was really cool like he's putting together like a scouting report and it's like, all right, this is what this guy does, this guy throws, this is where his percentages are, this is what his ball is gonna do. And yeah, I mean, it was just nice like to have just like a general idea what you're gonna see, just so that like you weren't just going up there and trying to like just wing it and basically just have to figure it out on the fly. So I thought it was awesome. I really enjoyed spending time with Kian, just like being able to like his insights. It was awesome.
That's awesome. That's awesome. It's great to hear because, that's one of the things we're trying to expand even for 2026. We're trying to involve a more in-depth analytics department. So viewers consider this a little bit of a sneak peek at what might be coming in terms of, a little intern analytics staff this summer. So hoping to expand upon that and while continuing to, help the team win and help you guys on an individual level develop each and every summer. So Ryan, I do want to take it back to that development level, right? Again, the competition in this league, and even as you talk to, from the hitting standpoint, right? At whatever point you could be facing 94, 96 on any given day. Um, what were some of the things, you came into last summer looking to develop in, and how did that evolve over the course of the summer? And, how did the environment of summer baseball help you grow into what you did throughout the summer?
Oh yeah, for sure. I think just like again, just wanted to like challenge myself and put myself in like a setting where I could be challenged in that, and then also I think going throughout it, I think it helped me just like understanding, I guess maybe a little bit having a better approach of the plate in some cases, and like there's guys like they're just flipping in like get me over a breaking ball, and that instead just like taking that grand in summer ball, like maybe the zone's a little bigger than you used to. So it's like, all right, you kind of just understand that that's the best pitch I'm going to hit. So I think that was the biggest thing was understanding like, hey, I'm on time for a fastball, but like if he just flips in like an off speed pitch or something over the middle, anything that I can hammer, just being willing to like let it like swing at. If I swing and miss or pop it up or foul it off, at least I can be like, all right, that was a pitch I could swing at, and whatever good swing dish is, instead of just taking it and then being like, all right, that was probably the best pitch I could get. So I think that was something that was good for me, was just being a little more aggressive on pitches that are mistakes or like just left out over the play, regardless if it's a fastball or off speed or that sort, and just kind of like, just get my swing off it instead of just taking it. So
That's awesome. That's awesome. I love it. Moving off of, maybe the hardcore in-depth baseball stuff here, Ryan, I do want to hear your thoughts on, just your overall favorite memories or favorite parts of what you experienced here in Newport, and with the Gulls last year, again, whether that's specifically Gulls related, whether that's just specifically, just hanging out with the guys and having a good time around Newport, right? But what were your best memories and favorite parts of just Newport and the Gulls of all last summer?
oh yeah, I think for sure it was playing, whether it was playing wiffle ball or you're playing volleyball or just going to the beach. I think it's just hanging out with the guys on the team. Like I think that for me, that's like what really makes summer ball like special. Not like to go along with where you're at. Like I think the guys that you're with, that makes it special, because you get like a fun group of guys to be with, and it makes it that much more fun because you develop some connections. Like with guys you may never have even met before. Because like I said, yeah, you had a Finbar from Gonzaga. Like I would never have probably met him if it wasn't for playing in Newport and him being there. So it's just cool to like meet guys like that, like from all over the country, and just develop like a relationship, like friendship there, and just like I think that's what makes Summer Bowl so special.
Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. I'd also be remiss if I didn't bring this up. That the when you threw the Mystic guy out in one of the game one of the quarterfinals this year, I needed to bring that up. How did that moment just overall feel from again? That's a close game. That's a 1-0 game. The Gulls win
Mhm.
in the first game of our playoff race. Big moment in the ninth, that representing the tying run. What was that experience like throwing that guy out at home?
Uh, it was great. I mean, I'm just glad, I made a good enough throw, and then Adam Agressi was able to pick it and put a tag on the deal. I mean, I thought it was awesome. It just takes it back to like what makes baseball fun is like I love playing like the 1 run, 2 run games. Like when you're playing like just like I won't say low scoring, but when you're playing like a 3 to 4, 4 to 5 game when it's just like a good game all around, that's when it's like really fun. So I thought that just factored in like it's a good game, and so I think that made it that much better. That's how it ended.
That's awesome, dude. That's awesome. I love it. Great moment. It was super exciting. I mean, I look back at the season. I think that's one of the most exciting pieces of our whole season. So can't wait to see what's in store for 2026. But Ryan, before we hop off here, if you could give me just, a little look in on what you're most excited for coming back for this 2026 season, obviously in lining with a Gulls 25th anniversary. Just give me, the fans or viewers here, just a little bit about what you're most excited for heading into the summer.
For sure. I mean, I'm excited to go back and then maybe see some more spots and places I guess I didn't see the first time through. And then again, just you said Coach Teddy's coming back and we had Coombs. I'm excited to
Sir.
be with them again. It was fun. And again, just meeting more guys from all over the country and just different schools. Because I think, that's the coolest thing to me is just meet them, be like, then I look on our schedule and I was like, oh, we're playing them. All right, I know them. And it's just cool. Like, again, like playing guys like and it's just it makes it not much fun when you can go like you play a team and some guys, and that's what makes it fun for me. It's just all the relationships you develop through playing baseball, not only just like throughout the college season, but also the summer season. So I think that's again what I'm excited, is just meeting new people from all over the country in different schools that I may not have met otherwise. So yeah.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. It's super exciting stuff here. Ryan, cannot wait to have you back here for another summer season with the Gulls. It's going to be awesome. And I know our fans can't wait as well. So Ryan, thanks again for joining us on this edition of 25 for 25 today. And Gulls fans, thank you for listening in, and we'll be right back here next episode. Appreciate it.